All right. Welcome, one and all, to the late shift. Nice to see you all out there. I saw a few people sneaking in here as I was just trying to fix the chat and get things rolling. So, 45, welcome. Dawn, hello, welcome. Doc Brad, good to see you out there. Wild Radio, welcome. I see that Frank sent you over, so I appreciate that. Hope you all are doing well out there. I want to say a special hello to the folks in green text. These are the channel members. These are the people that help make the channel go. So thank you. I do appreciate you. And I want to call out Ed. Ed, I saw you joined that group during the lead up. So thank you, Ed. I appreciate that. All right. Wild Radio, you like the formatting? Cool. Good. Glad to hear it. I appreciate that. Try to do a little something different, right? Try to make it fun for folks. I also saw somebody saying, welcome to the weekend. Absolutely. That may have been, who did say that? I have to scroll back. EOD, welcome to the weekend indeed. EOD's got a little bit of a head start on us, I think, but that's okay. That comes with the territory. Boy, I tell you, it is a cold one here, which, we haven't had to say that much this year, so it's hard to complain, but I'll do it anyhow. I don't like it. That's why I'm in Texas. I don't want this cold weather. But I don't think it's going to last long, maybe a week or so at the most. It's especially painful here on the ranch because I've got a well for the animals. I've got city water that comes into the house, but I've got a well, which is really nice. And I've got, water from the well to do things like wash the cars and feed or water the goats and that type of thing. But the problem is, whenever they put this in, and this was in long before I was here, folks had installed this and put this in and ran all these water lines. I don't know. This must have happened like well before the whole idea of global warming and all that stuff, because they only put these lines like 6 inches deep. And so when it freezes, the water lines freeze. I mean, go figure. So anytime that it's going to freeze, we always have to turn the well off, right? Bleed the lines, turn the well off, make sure that I'm not out there fixing PVC pipe like I've done half a dozen times before I got smart enough to realize what was going on. So, but anyhow, we made it to the weekend. We're here. I think we're going to have some fun tonight. So give you guys a preview of what we're going to be up to. I had shared with you guys last week that I got this new gadget, this thing called a CrowPanel Advance 3.5 to be exact. They have several versions. We saw they have like a 10-inch, 7-inch, 5-inch, all kinds of different sizes. I got the 3.5-inch version. And this thing comes with a bunch of different radio modules that provide different capabilities, some different ESP32 modules. And we're going to play with that thing tonight. And I don't know how far we're going to get because this is not going to be like our 5-hour late shift tonight. I'm sorry, gang. I'm sorry. But tomorrow, as you guys may have remembered by the little cartoon at the beginning, tomorrow, and actually today, it started today, is the Cowtown Hamfest. So I'm heading over to Cowtown tomorrow. It's in Fort Worth. It's just outside of Fort Worth-ish. And I'm going to be set up working the AMSAT booth with a bunch of great folks there that work all the local Hamfests with AMSAT. So I'll be at that table tomorrow. So if folks are going to show up, please stop by and say hello. I'm going to take my satellite gear with me, and as long as it's not like stupid cold out or raining or something, just gross, I'll likely do, depending on the passes, I'll likely do some demos. Those are always fun to do and usually get a pretty good crowd and, people asking a lot of great questions. But outside of that, the group brings a bunch of, they bring a CubeSat sim, they bring a bunch of different models, they bring laptops and stuff to show off some of the different software that you may be interested in if you're working satellites using a ground station or something like that. So, oh, cool. Glad to see it, Don. It'll be good to see you. That'll be fun. Yeah, 45, it's a bit of a haul for you. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. But I've got to get up early. It's about an hour, 15-minute drive for me. So I got to get over there early, be ready, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to work the booth, all that type of thing. I'm not sure. We usually have really good communication around these things, but for whatever reason, that wasn't necessarily the case this time. So I'm going to be taking a bunch of my stuff just in case. One of the things that we always coordinate is who's taking the AMSAT banner, who's grabbing this, who's grabbing that. But it did kick off tonight, so hopefully all that stuff's taken care of. But I'll take it just in case something crops up. It's better to be prepared, and it's no big deal to throw it in the truck. So let's see. Stupid cold. The cold itself doesn't bother me too much, Gray Man. It's like if it's cold and wet, if it's like sleety, rainy, that's stupid cold, right? Because that just chills you a lot quicker, right? I mean, my blood has thinned out though. I mean, I grew up in Western Pennsylvania. I spent a lot of time. I spent several years in Buffalo, New York. I mean, I'm no stranger to cold. I know what real cold is. When I worked in Buffalo, New York, we had another office. And instead of it being in some nice warm place where you could go and enjoy, some weather, get out of Buffalo during the winter, it was in Minneapolis. So it's like, out of the pan and into the fire in reverse, if you know what I'm saying. It was lousy. So, if it's just cold, I don't mind that. But if it's cold and windy and sleety, that's what I don't like. All right, let's see here. 30 in Connecticut. I was watching the news earlier and it looked like there were some like whiteout conditions in like Western New York and Western Pennsylvania. I'm not sure how bad it actually got, but it didn't look good. I mean, I think somewhere in upstate New York, they were showing where an airplane had, slid off the runway, all that kind of nonsense. So, Don, you got 50, huh? I don't know what I've got right now. I know that whenever I brought the goats in tonight, it was getting chilly. It was, the wind was picking up. That north wind sucks. 40 degrees here in North Texas. So we're going down to 30 degrees. So we're getting below freezing. Like I said, we had to get the water turned off, all that jazz. So it's going to be cold enough. I don't know if we have any precip. Looks like we've got a little bit potentially. Well, let me change this to Fort Worth. An hour west of Fort Worth. So weather can be a little different, but let's see. So it looks like it should be dry, so that's good. And only 9-mile-an-hour winds. That shouldn't be bad at all. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, 22 mile an hour by the time it gets to showtime. So it shouldn't be too bad, but, there's no reason for cold weather. It's nonsense. It's nonsense, I say. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to remember to do some of this during the stream. I'm like really bad at it, highlighting people's comments. I mean, I certainly call them out. I'm just I've got it like over here on my other monitor, and I always forget to highlight them. So I'll try to do a little bit better there. Yeah, I think Bill, I think you're just outside the reach. Ronnie, 44 in Central Florida. All right. Get that warmed up, Ronnie. Before you know it, we'll be headed that direction. A bunch of us will be coming your way. Cold weather is for the birds. Absolutely. But yeah, so we're going to play with that CrowPanel. I hope we have some success with it. Here's what I want to get done with it tonight is I want to get Meshtastic running on it. That's like the minimum goal for tonight. I did break out, just to give you guys a warning. And look, I plan on having several late shifts where I'm using this device because it's a pretty cool device. And I've been trying to learn enough about it because I've got some ideas for some really cool projects. Just to give you a preview, I did break out a GPS, a little GPS device that we can interface with it. And I soldered some headers on it earlier, and I got the breadboard out. So there's a chance we might get that far. We'll see how long it takes to get Meshtastic running on it. But I'd like to get the GPS connected to it. And the only thing is, I just don't know if I'll be able to get GPS, if I'll be able to pick up any GPS satellites sitting here in the shack. You know, I've told you guys before, I'm looking out the one lone window that I've got in the shack, and it's this round portal window. And, you know, I'm 15 feet away from it. And I just, you know, it's not often that I pick up a GPS sitting right here. But I would love to try to get it interfaced and see that that GPS stream, that GPS sentence stream, come into the device. So we'll see if we get that far. But I've got a couple satellite related ideas for this thing. So I think we can have some fun with it. So I will. I do. You know, Bill, I saw that you were interested in one. I do have an affiliate code for it. The folks over at Elecrow did send this to me. So I didn't pay for it. They sent it to me. But, you know, anytime I have a situation like that, and I'm actually kind of working through that with another vendor right now, it's always interesting. They'll send you kind of they call it a contract. I guess it's a contract. They send you their requirements. Let's put it that way. They send you their requirements on, hey, if we're going to send you something, here's what we want you to do. And I never, ever, ever accept that. I mean, it's a really bad deal if you just say, okay, I'll do what you guys want me to do. But instead, I send back my requirements, and my requirements are always, hey, if you're gonna send it to me, first of all, I'm not sending it back. You're not getting it back. I'm not paying to send this thing back to you, right? Because most of these things are not that expensive. First of all, right? They're relatively cheaper items. The last thing you want to do is get caught up sending these things back, especially when they come from China. But you know, I always say, hey, look, I'm not sending it back. I'll do a video on it, but you don't get to direct it. You don't get to see it. I'm not going to, you know, if you want to give me some use cases, if you want to give me some instruction, if you want to give me your documentation, I'll certainly take that, but it's not going to influence my review. And, you know, I have complete autonomy to do whatever I feel is appropriate based on the piece of equipment, right? So if it's great, I'm going to tell people what I like about it. If there's things I don't like about it, I'm going to tell people what I don't like about it. So I always get that squared away as well. Some other things for, I know some of you folks do some YouTube or are considering doing some YouTube, and, you may or may not have been in this position before. One of the other things that I always tell these folks is that if they want to utilize the video through the YouTube service, they are welcome to. But I'm not going to provide the video to them to use in any other fashion, right? They can only use it through YouTube. So, but anyhow, I mean, all of that just goes to say, when I get one of these devices, I'm going to play with it. I'm going to share it if I think it's worthwhile. That's the other thing, right? If you send me something and I don't think it's worthwhile, I don't think folks that watch this channel would be interested in it, I'm not going to do a video on it. I'm not going to share it. But if it's worthwhile, I'm going to give an honest review. I'm going to tell people what I think of it, good and bad. And, if all that stuff is agreeable, then please send it over. And while you're at it, send me 10 so I can give them away. Nobody's taken me up on that yet. Well, I can't say nobody's taken me up on that. I've had some great folks offer some things, and hey, isn't that a segue? Is that a segue and a half? Let me throw this up there. We are close to the 5,000 subscriber mark, and I should look and see where we're at here. When we hit that 5,000 subscriber mark, I've got a nice giveaway that I've been collecting stuff for. Some of that stuff is some Meshtastic items. Let's see, we are at 4,796. So almost 200 away. What do we got? 204. So I've got a bunch of great stuff to give away. An Icom IC2730B, the brand new one, the black one. A couple elk antennas, some 3D printed handles from my buddy Kyle. I still haven't received my printer yet. It's on order, but they did say it could take up to 4 weeks. So I don't have that yet. I have a bunch of Meshtastic goodies and just some other things that you guys have seen on the channel. So, but the key is, right, the catch, so to speak, is you have to be on the community list. You have to be signed up on the community list in order to be entered into any of those drawings. So if you are not, please get yourself signed up. All right. That is the community list. Let's see. The Traveling Ham. Mike, how are you, buddy? I've only reviewed a few handhelds. Hey, wait, I can do better than that. Let's do this. I've only reviewed a few handhelds, but I've never had any terms conveyed to me or any requests for positive comments. Maybe a suggestion deadline is all. Oh, that's another good item, right? A lot of folks will want a video within a particular period of time. And, I'm sorry, my world just doesn't operate like that. So I usually tell them, look, I'll try to get it done in 4 to 6 weeks. Because when you take a look at my work schedule, my travel schedule, my YouTube schedule, the other items that I've got in line that have already been sent to me, it's going to take me 4 to 6 weeks to get that out there. So those are all good things. Hey, Kyle, I've been loving all the different shorts and stuff you've been putting out on your hiker channel. It's been awesome. It's been awesome to see a bunch of those, cool views from Colorado from last year. And, I like that one you had with the rainbow. I think that was today or yesterday. Any plans on reviewing HTs for spectral purity? I've got a tiny SA. I've got that equipment, but there are, we've got a lot of people in the community that already do that. Now, I will test my own, right, when I get them, right? I've got a couple of these little guys, right? I think I'm up to 4 of these now. And I've got them in different kits in all the vehicles. And this is the one that I just play around with on the desk. But, I think I'm going to leave that to the crew that already does that. I think folks do a good job with that already. I don't think we need one more video that talks about whether or not this is dirty or clean. However, I will say I've been highly entertained with the videos going back and forth between the Smokin' Ape and Ham Radio Crash Course. So that's been highly entertaining. So I do appreciate what those guys are doing. All right. One other thing, I can get this out of the way. This is my link tree. This is where you'll find stuff like merch, t-shirts, bumper stickers, affiliate links, discount codes. Oh, I almost forgot about this. So I was getting around to this. I do have an affiliate code discount link for that CrowPanel. So I will get that up on the bitsy/dr. So if anyone is interested in following along, they will be able to do that. Thank you, Bill. Thanks for plotting that out there. Any updates for us iOS users to join the awesome MQTT server? I have tried every setting. You know what? We'll see what time we get done with some things. I would like to revisit that. I'll also mention for anybody who is connected, and I've seen Ed and I've had some chats. We were actually talking about the Verizon headache from earlier in the week, but we've had some chats on Meshtastic via MQTT, which has been cool. But in case I've also got this little guy, and I'm tethered, so I don't want to pull it too far. But this is a Heltec V4 that's running the low BBS that I have connected to the MQTT server as well. So if you guys see low BBS, if any of you are connected and you're seeing low BBS, that's that low BBS thing that we played with here several weeks back. So you guys can hit that. Let's see here. I like it, Bill. You wrench your way, I'll wrench mine. All right, let's see. Thank goodness for Wi-Fi. Yeah, Ed, you had reached out and you said, hey, is anybody else having Verizon issues? And I looked at my phone, I picked it up, I'm like, nah, man, I'm not having any trouble. I get maybe, unless there's a problem at work, I'll get like 2 or 3 phone calls a week, if that. And I don't call very many people, but, I was looking at it, I'm like, hey, my data's fine. I appear to be working, and I'm like, oh, I'm dumb. I'm on Wi-Fi. But as soon as I took it off of Wi-Fi, Ed, I was having a problem. So we did have some issues here in the North Texas area as well. So we were impacted. And, I don't know that I can say that. Yeah, well, let me see. Let me just take a quick look at something here. I don't want to be sharing any insider information if it's not already out there. Well, let me ask this. Ed, have you seen anything? Has your bill been sent to you yet? I'm curious if you've seen any type of relief or compensation in your bill, I guess is what I'm getting at. Oh my gosh, Chuck, how you doing, buddy? Chuck, it's probably a month or so ago at this point, I was wearing my KK6USY Ham Radio Adventures cap during the live stream. And, you know, I was thinking about you earlier in the day, and I thought, you know what? Gosh, I really need to reach out to Chuck. I'm going to wear his hat here, and maybe that'll remind me to reach out. And I let everybody know, hey, I had been thinking about you. But then it turned into like 2:30 in the morning or something, and I forgot to reach out to you. So I'm a bad friend. I was thinking about you, Chuck, but I didn't reach out to you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. All right. Gotcha, Ed. Yeah, you'll have to let me know. Shoot me a Meshtastic message. Yeah. All right. Hey, that's what I was looking for right there, Brant. That's what I was looking for. That's what I heard was going to happen. So my understanding was that folks were going to get a $20 credit to their bill. So, but anyhow, that's that. But if we can get back to, depending on how we go, and, you know, it's always a crapshoot, depending on how long-winded I am and what rabbit holes we go down, we may revisit that. And if nothing else, I'd like to see if anybody is able to hit that BBS across the MQTT server as well. So, all right, we must have some newish people in the audience. I am seeing a few new community members who have joined the community list. So welcome, everybody. Glad you joined the list. You'll be signed up for all the channel giveaways. I do have a code for that Elecrow. I don't have it right with me here, Tim, but I am going to put it in my bitsy/dr link list. So it'll be there. Yeah, so if anyone's interested in playing with that, they can check it out. No notification, Eric. Well, that's a bummer. I'm glad you made it, though. I am glad you made it. I think it's time. We can jump into this and that. Let's go ahead and get this thing kicked off. Let's get this baby started. All right. As I had mentioned, the Cowtown Hamfest. I'll be there tomorrow. It kicked off today. Looks like they've got some good goodies here for giveaways. That looks like a FT710. Ooh, the AES version. Right, so they went big time. You know, a lot of giveaways will go the field version. I think that's a little cheaper if I recall. But these guys went the AESS version. Looks like we got a rig expert. That was Friday's grand prize. So somebody got lucky and already got that. And then it looks like there's also, somebody already got the Nano VNA. Mark Johnson. All right, excellent. So they've got, they've got some good prizes. This is always a fun, this kind of like kicks off the ham radio year for me. This is kind of like the first event. And like I said, I'll be at the AMSAT booth. So if you guys are going to be around, stop by, say hello. All right, what else do I got here? Eric, like I said, I'm glad you made it because I wanted to give you a congratulations. I saw your post earlier in the week, and boy, that's a little hard to read, but I can tell everybody it is the ARRL International Digital Contest, and boy, I don't know that I can see that myself. I'm going to have to look in the folder. I think Eric got first place in his division. So always like to see folks that hang out here at the channel do well with those types of things. So congratulations. Yeah, single operator, one radio, QRP, 8 hours, first place. And I think he said that was like his last contest before he left Hawaii. So congrats on that. Yeah, nice job. Nice job. Very cool. So just a couple of other small items here I want to share with you guys. These are kind of fun items. Let's see here. What's the next one? Here we go. This, I don't know if you guys follow DX World. Actually, their handle's DX World, but it's DX World Net. And let me see here. Let me bring this over. Let me get back. Here we go. Here we go. This is a pretty cool little video that was on some local news channel someplace. I'm not going to play it all here, but just to give you guys a sense.
Right, from setting up antennas in open fields to logging contacts through static field signals, the action during field day is nonstop when we're talking about ham radio. This is part 2 of the story. We dive deeper now into the heart of the 24-hour challenge where strategy, stamina, and split-second decisions all come into play when
That's pretty dramatic, isn't it? Stamina, strategy, split-second decisions. They're talking about field day, and they really hype it up, but it's a nice little piece. So if you guys don't follow this, it's a pretty good account. They post some fun stuff. A lot of it is expedition, de-expedition related stuff. But they'll throw some other stuff in here as well. I encourage you to go out and check that out. It's I'm not sure where this club is at, but essentially it's some dudes talking about what field day is, and these young ladies trying to make it sound exciting for the news audience. So it's pretty good though. I liked it. So check that out. The one other item I want to share with you guys, I think this is one more. Yeah, one more. Let me get this switched over here. So, actually, you guys aren't, yeah, you might be able to see it. Let's see if we can see it here. This one here is from another Twitter account. This is one I highlighted last week. And these guys are talking about a satellite, and it's Flamingo 1. And let me pull this up so maybe you guys can see this a little bit better. Yeah, it's Flamingo 1. Let me get this. Oh, I'm not going to be able to, I don't think. Okay. But essentially what this is, I'll tell you what it is. Somebody had mentioned that when they were capturing some telemetry from Flamingo 1, it's a German satellite, it was playing Ode to Joy. And I had never come across that before. So, of course, I had to look into it a little more to see what's going on with this thing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this or heard of this, but I thought it was pretty interesting. And so without too much trouble, I was able to go out and find an example. So this is what they were talking about. Let's see if I can get this to play. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys have experienced that, if you've heard that coming off of a satellite. If I wasn't expecting it, that would, I think, that would catch me off guard for sure. I'm just seeing here if anybody here, yeah, maybe, I know you guys are just a few seconds behind here, but I thought that was pretty fun. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, that's the this and that for this week. So we're gonna jump right in. I've got to pull some stuff over here. Hold on just one second. All right, I don't think I need my headphones any longer. Let's see if I can get Let's see if I can get an overhead shot here. All right, maybe we can push. Oh, by the way, this is the low BBS that's running that I had mentioned. So here's what we've got. I might have to disconnect that keyboard. I'll try to be able to work through it without that. But so we've got the here. Let me disconnect this. So this is the CrowPanel. This is the CrowPanel Advanced 3.5. Right, we talked about this a little bit last week. It's got a nice high resolution screen. Let me see. Let me see if I've got something here. I can see if I can get some power to this thing. It's got some USB-C ports on it. Let me see if we can get this baby to power up. There we go. So it's got a nice little color display on it. This tells you a little bit about the capabilities, and then it's got some demo firmware on it, so you can kind of see how it works. It's touch screen, right? I'm guessing this isn't showing up that great. Let me get that out of the way. See if I can get this thing. There, you might be able to see it a little bit better. Right, so they've got like a little interface on here just to show you the capabilities of it, show you how it works, right? Pretty decent. I mean, all that stuff is pretty smooth. It looks pretty good. Some decent capability in this little gadget. Okay. It's got an SD card slot. We flip it back over. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it here. Well, we got some funky color there, didn't we? There we go. Let's see here. I got some serial out. So I've got a UART. I've got a UART in, a UART out. This other USB-C is also a UART out. It's got an I2C out. So these are all kind of common serial interfaces. It's got a connection here for a speaker. And then it's also got a connection for an external battery. So through the UART, which is what we're going to be using this little UART connection here. Wait, is that giving me some funky color? Let's see here. Let's see, that's a little better. But this can take 5 volts in, and you know, it's got a lot of I/O for, you know, a little board like this. Now, here, I can pop this stuff off. I don't know if we're going to get this far. I started to go down this road. I don't know how far we're going to get, but I've just got you know, some little jumpers here so I can come out. They ship it with a cable that fits the UART out or the serial out, but I want to get GPS in, and it's a little bit of a different connector for the UART in, and they don't give you that cable. But the good news is you can take, you know, it's a 4-pin connection. You can take one of these wires here, and all four connections will actually fit in that little connector, and you can really accomplish the same thing, right? And plug it into your breadboard. This here is my little ground connection. And then earlier tonight, and like I said, I don't know if we'll get this far tonight or not. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. If we won't, we'll do it another night. This is just a, there we go. This is just a little GPS. I can get it on screen. And I soldered some pin headers to it earlier tonight so that we could play with it if we got that far. And then it comes with a little ceramic antenna. And it comes with a U-Blocks GPS chip, which in my experience, these are the best GPS chips. So, and this is like I don't know, maybe an $8 board on Amazon. So I'm going to create a Amazon store with all the little bits and pieces for folks who want to play along. But if you guys had not seen this last week, right, like I said, it's you know, they send along one of these cables here, right? That'll fit into the output, but it doesn't fit into the input. And then I've also got a bunch of modules. Let's see if I can get this to, there we go. So I've got a Meshtastic module, an ESP32H2 module, an ESP32C6 module, and an NRF 2401 module. They also provide a little antenna here. So, oh, and they also ship a USB-C cable. So all this, these don't come in the package. These are separate. These are extra. You get this, you get the cable, you get the, you don't get the antenna, but you do get the USB-C to USB-A cable. And then these are like $5 extra. And they sent me all of these. So we're going to start with this Meshtastic one. And we're going to see if we can get this thing up and running with Meshtastic. Now, also, when you order this, you can order it with or without the case. Right, so I asked them to send me the case when they asked me if I wanted to do a review on it. And it's just, well, I need to take it apart. So let me show you exactly what it is. Oh, let's see. Here we go. It's kind of like, do you guys remember the acrylic Raspberry Pi cases that you would get? These were some of the earlier cases, and they'd be like, I don't know, 6 or 8 different slices like of acrylic, and you'd stack them. Well, that's what this case is like. Except it's only three pieces. Oh yeah, I've got one of these. You guys remember these old Raspberry Pi cases? The Pibo. It's very similar to that. All right. Let's see. Night Cry. We're playing with this Elecrow CrowPanel Advance 3.5. The Advance is a differentiator from a earlier version. The 3.5 is the screen size. They have several screen sizes. And they have several revisions of this as well. So one other thing that I had recognized as I was Googling this thing and trying to find out what it was capable of and all that is that there are multiple revisions. So here you can see what I mean, right? So you've got like a top panel. You've got this sandwich panel. There's actually some threaded, whatever you call those things, in there that you don't use, that aren't used for securing the case. They're in that other row of holes. So I'm not really sure. I guess maybe for mounting, maybe you can mount this using those, I would assume. And then it feels like, can I pop that? Maybe I can't. I didn't try. I'll bet you can. Yeah, I think you can pop this out. You can. Okay. You can pop the screen out of the top portion of the case. Yeah, there we go. Just like that. So if you just order this device alone, this is what you'll get. If you order it with the case, you get this sandwich style case. I think the case is like $3 or something silly like that. I don't know why you wouldn't go ahead and get it just to protect the board a little bit. I mean, depending on what I end up ultimately doing with this, I may want to, see if somebody else has designed a different case for it and, maybe swap it out. But in the interim, I think it's worth getting it with that little sandwich case just to protect the thing. All right, so Kelly was coding and lost some time. That's all right, Kelly. We're here. All right, so here's a closer look at this thing. So, we talked about these different modules, right? These are little dip style package modules, and they pop into these headers over here. So you can pop them in and pop them out. Here's all the I/O that we talked about. It does have a reset button and a boot button here. You can see there's a buzzer. I'm thinking you guys can likely see that. Let's see what else. You've got a battery. This does have a real-time clock. So, you can take advantage of that in your project. Pretty cool. There's a microphone up here. And this is board revision 1.2. And it is different than 1.0. I don't know that I've seen a 1.1. Maybe they went from 1.0 to 1.2, but I've seen documentation for this for the version 1.0, and it's a different board layout. So there are some differences there. Just be aware of that. Okay. Like I said, you get a little slot here for some SD storage. I mean, they cram a lot of stuff onto this thing, and it's like $34, something like that. I mean, a lot of technology for less than $40. That's for sure. All right, let me see what you guys are chatting about. See if you have any questions before we get into this. Let's see here. What are you guys chatting about here? Oh, you like the keyboard, Kyle. So this is a pretty sweet keyboard. It's a Leopold. I don't know if you got right. If you're a keyboard nerd, you probably know who Leopold is. They make some really high-end keyboards with some great keycaps. It's configurable. You can do a lot of different configuration with it. Connected via USB cable. I've had this and they still sell this model. It's really popular. I think I've had this keyboard I think I've had it for 12 years. And I also like it because it's a smaller form factor. So yeah, check those out. Good keyboard. Let's see. Possum Town. Welcome, Arnie. I wonder if that's a true story. The original settler looked like an opossum, according to the natives. That's funny. Let's see. Sacramento Mesh is in the Bay Area now. That sounds like it's stretching out pretty good. Did I drop a link for it? I haven't dropped a link for it yet, Dawn. I'm going to. I just got an affiliate link for it, and I think it's it's either like a 5 or a 10% discount. I can't recall. I'll have to look, but I just got it. Yeah, it does have a look of the old IBM keyboards for sure. And it's clacky. That's the other thing, right? I like the clackiness of it. All right. So just to get us started here, I'm going to pop open this Meshtastic module. What do you say in 45? All right, let's see. So this Meshtastic module, teeny tiny. Let's see if we can get this up here so you guys can. Come on. Come on. You can do it. That might be the best I can do if I can get it in frame. So it's got a little reset button on it, and it's got a, what is that, an IPX? Is that what they call that, an IPX connector for an antenna? So that's that little antenna that I had in the box. Now, this is kind of interesting. I've seen a lot of these kind of little baton antennas before, but I don't know that I've seen one that has had a protruding end to it. Do you guys see that? It's got like a little, I need something dark maybe. It's got like a little piece of wire sticking out the end of it. So hopefully that's the way it's supposed to be. It might be interesting. But let's see. Okay, so they've got on the underside of this, they do have an explanation of the pins. I don't know that it really matters. I guess if you're going to use this for a project outside of one of these host boards, it would matter. It's kind of nice to have the documentation on there. But in our case, right, we're plugging it right into this board here, so I don't care what all the pins are. Right, and so the main thing that we got to worry about is there's a little arrow here. There's an arrow here on the board. If you guys can see that, trust me, there's an arrow there. So that's the side that goes up. So I'm just going to pop this on. Seems like it's lined up pretty easy. Yeah, that's easy enough. No problem there at all. I don't know about you guys. I always have trouble getting these doggone things on. I'm always afraid I'm going to break them. Come on, you little bugger. It's like one of those things where you got to get your mouth just right. Of course, that baton is always kind of twisting and turning. Look at that doggone thing. If anybody has a trick on how you put these things on, please share. The worst part about it is, on occasion, I'll ruin one of these antennas trying to get it put on as well. I've done that on some of the rack wireless ones that I've put together. Gotta be kidding me. Okay, it looks okay. It doesn't look like it's bent. There you go. You just got to commit. Commit and push it through. All right. We've got the antenna on. Let's see. They have some interesting. Yeah, they do have a bunch of interesting devices, right? These guys, they remind me a bit of Seed Studio in that they have all kinds of cool stuff. Similar to like Rack Wireless, they have a bunch of cool stuff as well. Not just mesh related, and it's all kinds of good stuff. Let's see. I hate those connectors. Yeah. Dawn, I'm with you, man. That's, I've ruined some myself. Oh, you're talking about Rack. Yeah, they've got some really cool stuff. These guys have all kinds of different things as well. Let's see. Got to have, yeah, and I don't really have tiny hands. So, all right, let's see. I think we've got everything connected. I'm just going to push this over to the side. And let me see. Do I have another? I gotta find another cable here. All right, I'm gonna have to unplug this. Hopefully I don't cause an issue here. Okay. I just steal a cable off of something else that's connected to my machine, because we're going to try to flash this thing and just see if it's as easy as flashing it. All right, so on the little case, they say that that the lower USB-C is a UART out, and the upper one is standard USB. I don't know that it matters, but because of that, I'm going to plug into the upper one. Okay, we got a little light there. That's probably a good thing. It's getting power. Little power indicator. Well, I got to keep it on the screen. So this has got a power indicator on the daughter board. It's got a power indicator there. Now, here's the, let's see. Now that's interesting. All right. I just learned something. I'm going to go ahead and power this off. It just reloaded the built-in firmware. I'm going to pull the power on it, and I'm going to pop this. Right? If you want the case on it, you have to have the case on it prior. Right? Because this has to sit between. The good news is these are really easy to remove or add. Right? Because I want to be able to turn this over, and hopefully, now I'm going to have to pop a blank here. So here you can see in this kind of top layer of the sandwich, they've got a perforated cutout if you're going to install a board. So let me see what I got to cut that out. I am guessing my Messi and Poloni scissors will do the deed. We're going to find out. These are great scissors. If you guys are looking for a pair of scissors in the shack, these are fantastic. I'm going to see if these will allow me to cut those without screwing anything up. Yeah, they're a little too thick to maybe get in there. Maybe it's a case where, oh, look at that. Don't do what I do. I just broke it. Okay. So let's go back. That there is completely broken. So that's, but this side here is not. Yay, look at that. All right, I'll break mine so you guys don't have to. And the reason I wanted to get this put on is because when I turn it over, I don't want to be bumping these reset and boot lights. So I'm just going to put a couple of these screws in just to hold this thing together. Sent you a fun image in the HR20 Meshtastic. Ah. I will have to check that out. Let me see if anyone has. I'm curious if anyone has hit. Oh, I see somebody else. I see. Oh, I see. Look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people signed up for the community list. That's fantastic. Let me see here. Do I have any messages in Meshtastic itself? I wanted to see if anybody can hit that low BBS. Doesn't look like anyone has tried it yet. Flush cut snips are better. Yeah, they probably would have been. I just grabbed what I had on top. So if I would have dug around a little bit more, I could have maybe went for something like this, and that might have been a better choice. But c'est la vie. It's a little plastic case, right? It's going to get broken at some point. I can certainly see wanting to print something that's kind of suited for the use once I finally get there. All right, so let me plug this power in. Got our power light there. Let's go ahead and just turn this baby over. Maybe I can use this breadboard here just to get an angle on it, so maybe it's easier to see for you guys. I need a Dremel tool. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Jody's got the right idea. All right. So now, let me move some of this stuff out of the way so I can run the mouse. And I'll bring this up. As soon as I get it up, I'll bring you guys along. What the heck is that? Is that? Oh, it may be. Come on now. I always forget what this, yeah, I thought that's what I typed. Ah, well. Ah, well. Okay, I've got to run all this stuff manually. I stole the power from my Stream Deck. I sacrificed the power. All right. Now, let's see. I'm curious if this thing here will auto-detect. Should be that one. Once I reload, let's try an auto-detect. Come on, you can do it. Okay, so it doesn't seem like it's going to auto-detect. I wonder if... Well, let me try one more time. I've had some challenges. Oh, wait, it might not have been the right... Probably not the right COM port. Which one is it? This doesn't look familiar. Let's try that. I know I can go look in my, I can go dig it out, but I'd rather just hunt and peck. Let's see. I don't recall that. Let's see what the heck that is. Nope, I guess that's not it. I might have to go look and find it. I don't think it's any of these Fablu techs. Maybe this M4. I thought it could be that. Let me just try to do that again real quick before it. All right, let's see. I'm curious. Let's see if it's on the list here first. Let's see if it's on the list. Community supported. I don't see it. It's an ESP32. You know what? I am curious. Let's reboot it. I'm curious if... Which one's the reboot? This guy. I'm curious if it has, once you add a module, if it does anything different on startup. Doesn't look like it. Okay. All right. Well, that's okay. Let's see. Let's see what the Elecrow website has. This is the CrowPanel Advance 3.5. Let's see what they say. See, without the acrylic case, yeah, $180 for the acrylic case. All right, so, and then here's your different modules. Let's see. Wireless, Wi-Fi. This doesn't look like the right one. They've got 2 of these. Let's do another. Well, it looks like I've looked here before, and I think we looked last week as well. But they have a couple of different versions of this. This one might be it. Nope, I don't think that's it. They've got a bunch of Crow panels. Let's add a little bit more. Oh, wait, see, we've got one here. So that looks like... Look at all the different sizes they've got. This one's 24. Let's try this one. This one's 34. Let's see if this is it. They've got some of these. I'm not seeing the same add-ons here. That's what has me a little wondering. See, this is a 1.0 there. That's what they're showing. But that's all right. Let's see here. Let's see what they have to say about... Here's the Meshtastic LoRa module. That's the one that we added. Trying to see if they've got a guide here for flashing it. Yeah, see, this little antenna's got a tail as well, so that must be normal. All right, let's see. Datasheet, wiki. Okay, you get all the detail. More detail than you care or want, but you get it all in case you need it. That's nice. Wireless modules, okay. Tutorial, Meshtastic. Click Meshtastic firmware. Select Elecrow. Did I miss that? Boy, sure did. All right, so select Elecrow. Select the corresponding firmware. So this shows some different Crow panels there. Do I show some Crow panels? I sure do. All right, so these look like the larger ones maybe. CrowPanel Advanced 3.5. We're going to select it. Okay. And then from there, I guess it's just regular old firmware. Let's see what options we have. Have they revved this? Nope. Still the same stable beta version. It's the last one I've installed on some of my others. Okay. Let's, we've got a boot button. It is ESP32. See, I want to get the top one here. I want to do a full erase. I do want the MUI. Let's see if it'll run. Doesn't appear like it yet. Let me get the chat here. I haven't seen the chat in just a tad. Okay, failed to execute. No port selected. Okay, so we still don't have a port. Let's try that again. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that top part of the sandwich case is creaking. Okay, the lights come on. So I want that. I want that. And I want to flash it. I want the full erase. So I still don't think it knows what port. Do I have to tell it to auto detect? Elecrow, I want that. Let's try. See, I don't know that that's it. All right, so it's not going to be able to auto detect it, I don't think. All right, let's see. Hey, Frank, welcome. All right, let's see here. Ensure it's plugged in. You know what, I'm wondering if... It is plugged in. I'm not going to... Let's see what other options we've got here. I don't really want to go any slower. I don't know that I've ever had any luck with this. Maybe this is where I got to select it. Okay, so it's not the FabLutex. right, let's see. Is it this USB JTAG? I thought that's the one it would be. It is. Okay, so we know we know which port it is. Did that come back? Sure did. Let's say connect. And let's see if that's connected. We'll do a full erase. And let's see. Okay, it wants me to choose it again. Hey, come on now. Sorry, guys. I do that at least once a week. I'm just going to give it a second. Sometimes these take a long time to connect. All right, let's see here. Let me say hi to folks while I'm going to give that a minute. I saw we some new folks come in. Maddie from Poland, welcome. Thanks for joining the stream. You need to tell it what serial port. Yeah, I think I found the serial port now, Dawn. I think we're in good shape there. Yep, the JTAG. Doesn't look like it's all right. Now that let's start fresh. Okay, it's an Elecrow. We want that one. We want the 2715. That's the latest stable. We're going to go to Flash. We're going to say, give me a full erase. Give me the MUI. Give me the JTAG. Connect. You can do it. Come on. Doesn't look like it is. All right, so let me disconnect it. I'm curious if I just reconnect it. Let's do it again. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. I was going to say, is that not going to... I just disconnected it and reconnected it, and it seemed to take longer than I recall, but probably not, for the other firmware to load. So I didn't know if it jankied up the firmware. Doesn't appear to have, though. It did eventually load. Full erase. Connect. Oh, there we go. Off and running. All right, let's see what this thing looks like. Let me pull you guys over here. On the mesh flasher, click ESP S3 filter. Yeah, I think we got the right one. We're going to find out here very quickly. This is the MUI. So this is the same UI that you would see in a TDEC, a few other devices as well. I'm curious to see what the onboard keyboard looks like is really what I'm kind of interested in here. Is it done? Yeah, looks like it's done. All right. There we go. Hey, let me swap this over. Okay. US region. Short name. Is it going to give me a keyboard? Do I have a keyboard? Do I have to plug a keyboard in? Ah, look at that. Let's go embiggened. How do I get to the numbers? There it is. I don't know that I've played with this with the on-screen keyboard. We're just going to call it the Crow. Okay. Rebooting. Cowtown tomorrow, Frank. We'll see you there. What time are you heading in, bud? 2715. Okay. Let's see. One of one nodes online. Let's see if it recognizes. I've got some other nodes here in the shack. We'll see if it recognizes them. Let me look at the config here real quick. Yeah, it's on long fast. I would expect it to be. See if I can get you guys a better look at the screen. I guess that's in. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's see. I'd expect it to find some nodes here pretty quick. Just kind of walking through. There's all the channels. Chats. Map. Config. Can we get rid of that? Yeah. Looks pretty cool. It'll be cooler if I get... I'm curious about this antenna. It's like, come on. I've got 1, 2... I've got some nodes here that it should be able to find fairly easily. I mean, hello, I'm right here. I've also got this node right here. So we've got nodes galore. We'll tap. You know, the keyboard seems pretty, or the screen seems pretty responsive. No complaints there. Maybe I'll set it up for MQTT. Let's do that real quick. Let's see here. I don't use this that often, so I'm kind of fumbling around here. Don't know where all the different, so I'm in settings and tools. I guess that's saying I'm plugged in. Like, where's the modules? I guess this just works a little different. Is there more that way? Mesh detector, or what's that? See if it identifies any other. Ah, there we go. So did it add it to my node list? Ah, there we go. It just took it a little bit. Okay, so this guy here is the, this fella. And then the node, or the BBS, is this little guy. So that seems to work okay. See if the BBS will wake up. Yep, there we go. All right, I got to turn that off. Frank, doesn't that sound familiar? All right, where do you turn that doggone thing off? Message alert. Off. Looks like a 2.4 gigahertz antenna. It looks larger, certainly, than a 900 megahertz. Or it looks different. Let me put it that way. It looks different than the other baton style 900 megahertz antennas I've seen come with, like the Heltec and those types of things. Let's see here. Configuration, backup, restore. Tell you, I have not played with this for a while. Let's see my chat showing up. Yep, looks fine. Now, what I'm not seeing, though, is, so there's, okay, that's fine. Client, that's fine. Wi-Fi, that's fine. Well, let's see, is there, no, that's just for your SSID. Screen brightness, theme. I'm looking for like the module configurations. What am I missing, guys? Packet log, signal scanner, mesh detector, trace route. What am I missing? Yeah, that might be, it might be the wrong antenna. I think there may be a couple of, okay, so here's there's another antenna in this one. What is this one? I wonder if I put the wrong antenna on it. Could very well have, because I had these things out of the packages before. So this one's got, well, these ESP modules have their own antenna. So I don't know that I did. Is that the one for the NRF chip, I'm wondering? Now, the ESP chips have their own antennas, right? So, right, so this is the ESP C6. And it's got an antenna. All right, I'm not going to pull the whole thing out, but it's got an antenna. I don't know why that's so yellowish. There we go. So that one's got an antenna. This is the ESP32H2. It's got its own antenna. And I don't think I've ever opened those. I had these other ones opened. Let's see. So this is the Meshtastic module. No antenna in that. But, I mean, hey, I could have screwed it up. This is that NRF chip. Now, does this have an antenna? Let's see if this module even has an IPX connector on it. Come on now, here we go. Hey Mike, how you doing? All right, let's see here. Yeah, there's not even an IPX connector on this NRF. So I think I put the right antenna, or the antenna that came with it, at least. The antenna that came with it is on it. So I feel pretty certain about that. But again, I'm trying to figure out, how do I get to, and maybe this just doesn't have any of those other modules. So I can add channels. Here's what it's currently seeing. And I don't think I can. Yeah, there's nothing accessible there. Of course, I can, long press these and I could send a message there. That's pretty straightforward. But hey, it works. The screen's pretty responsive. You guys can't see it very well, but the screen's pretty responsive. It looks better in person than, it does with all the glare and such. It looks as good as a TDEC screen, put it that way. So, hey, it's a Meshtastic device. I think what I'll do is I'll plug it in the truck and take it to Cowtown with me tomorrow and see what kind of nodes I pick up on the road. That'll tell me if that antenna's working or not. And I'll take another 900 megahertz baton antenna with me. And if I don't pick up anything on the way back, I'll swap out the antenna and we'll see what we get. So, well, hey, that's all right. That seems to work. Yeah, now, EOD, I saw that, I saw you say, hey, put TinyGS on there. It should run it, right? It's an ESP32. It should run it. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. You're not going to pick much up on it, obviously. Now we'd have to get some sort of IPX to probably a SMA adapter to get a good quarter wave antenna on it. But, I mean, you could certainly do that. It's good. Let's see. Any questions here? Yeah, it's a good size screen. I mean, for $30, right? Under $40 once you get the other module, buy the case, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty good. I've asked them, they hit me up again and said, do you want any of the other sizes? I said, yeah, send me the 10-inch one. It's 10.1 inch. And we'll see what, I mean, that thing will be huge, right? It'll be like a tablet. The red thing, that red thing, I'm not sure what you're referring to in terms of the red thing, but let's see. Yeah, that's right. You need that converter so you can put it on the Rig Expert or Tiny SA, whatever you want to do. Yeah, IPEX to SMA adapter. There you go. Thanks, Jody. Yeah, it's a funky little antenna for sure. Like I said, I'll be real curious to see tomorrow. Driving through Fort Worth from here, I mean, I should pick up 100 nodes tomorrow. So we'll see how it does. Let's see. Any other questions about this? I think I'm gonna, I'm not gonna dive into the GPS stuff tonight. I want to do a little more work on it just so I am, so I know a little bit more about it, so I'm not wasting everyone's time. But I did, I started to make some good progress here. We got the GPS. I'm going to see if I can't get a cable with the proper connector on it as well. This will certainly work, but let me show you what this looks like, right? When you just take all four of these and kind of slot them in there. I mean, it's in there. They're connected. I took it over to my meter and I can get a continuity test on them, but I mean, they're just barely in there. And I'm afraid when I'm moving it around, I'm not worried about the, it's the transmit and the receive. I'm worried more about just jostling that around and, keep bumping it with 5 volts and it might not like that. So we'll hold on that part. That's the input. That's, the output. Like I said, they give you a good cable for the output, which is kind of interesting that they don't give you one for the input. This cable that they give you works for both the UART and the I2C. But a pretty cool little device for the money, for sure. Like I said, I'm excited to try some other projects with it. I want to interface it with I want to see if we can get PTT working with this, and this could be a little portable satellite companion. I think there's some fun things we could do with that, right? We could do some Doppler control. I believe we'd be able to pull that off with this. We could do some Doppler control with the HT. So it can let it manage the frequency for us. And I think we could also put satellite tracking on this with the GPS. So I think there's some good projects to be had here. All right, let's see. Let's see what else you got here, Jody. Okay, look at their site. That is the one they send with the Meshtastic module. Yeah. Let's go back to that for a quick second. Yeah, that's the honking antenna, right, with the little pigtail on it. Right, that's this is the Meshtastic version. I mean, look at the detail you can get on this screen. This is a good little screen for the money. So I've got the Arduino IDE loaded up, so we can dive into that next time. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it looks like. The keyboard doesn't quite look like that, but all in all, it looks pretty close. But it's a lot of capability for $35. 36 bucks if you add the case. All right, Ed. Hey, Ed, thanks for hanging out. Good chatting with you through the week, and keep using that MQTT server, bud. That's why I got it out there. All right. Well, what else we got tonight, guys? Like I said, I'm going to try to shut it down a little early tonight, simply because I've got Cowtown in the morning, but certainly willing to go a little bit longer here if you guys have some more to chat about. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and pull that guy. I want to make sure. I'm going to put the screws in this, so I want to take it tomorrow. Let me catch up with the chat, see what else you guys have. I'm curious if we had any other. I did see a few other nodes pop up in MQTT. I'm curious if we had any iOS success stories out there, or if everybody was kind of having the same problem. Hey, Andy, I didn't see you before. How you doing tonight? Or what is it for you? Morning. All right, this guy's ready to go. Yeah, I need, I'm curious. While we're here, let's take a peek and see if there is an Elecrow CrowPanel Advance 3.5 case that is maybe on. Well, let's just do a general search and see. I'm curious to see if we might have to. Oh yeah, that's the same one. Tindy. Someone's selling it on Tindy. All right, let's look at maybe like printables. Is it printables.com? There we go. And let's see if we have. Oh, here we go. So we've got one for the 7-inch, for the 5-inch, and the 2.8. I think that is different. Let's just see what these look like. See if they maybe have a way to resize them. There's the 7. Because I'm going to have to print a case. Since I broke the one that this came with, let me just do. No results for the 3.5. Okay. What's I'm so out of the loop here. What's the other 3D repository? Let's see. Thingiverse. Okay. Chris, I'm still waiting for mine to come in. So I ordered mine from Gigaparts on Jason's last stream. I'm still waiting for it to come in, though. Let's see if we've got any CrowPanels out there. That's not really what I want. Gosh, I might learn how to design something quicker than I expected. What else? You have Thingiverse, printables. Isn't there another one out there that's pretty... yeah, there you go. Design a decal for it. So you're just collecting. Yeah, I'm just... so Chris, I broke this little cheesy basic case that comes with the CrowPanel. So I've already broken it. All right, so I was trying to snip out the blank here, and so I broke out this little piece. So now I'm going to need to print something. Or the next time I get something from those guys, just buy another $1.90 case. That's always an option as well. But I'd rather print something. I mean, that's why I ordered that doggone thing. So what else? There's printables, Thingiverse. Is there another one that is popular? Makerworld. Ah, all right. Nice job, Jody. Makerworld. Is that a .com? Sure enough. Okay, let's see. Where's the search on this thing? There it is. CrowPanel 3.5 case and stand. Well, that's kind of interesting. Let's make that bigger. Okay, so you can see this is where the USB is on the bottom. So I wonder what this is that somebody is. There's a bunch of there's a bunch of projects out there on GitHub that you can just download and flash on these as well. So, you know, I might have to have a browse through those and see if anything stands out that might be interesting. Yeah, getting a bamboo. That's right. Yeah, it kind of looks like a TV remote, but I'm wondering if it's more of a, yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's no, is it, I mean, it looks like there's kind of like Blu-ray or DVD type controls, right? You got the play, pause, stop, fast forward. I don't know, but it says TV on it, so sure. Yep. Scroll down, the first builder comment shows a couple more images. Ah, okay. All right. Got it. Looks like a little, maybe like a little clamshell. Does that collapse into it? No, maybe that's just stationary. Now that looks like a little bit of a different version. See how that, the PCB on that looks like it's red. That's interesting. I wonder if that's just a different revision of the board. This one here's a little calendar. Yeah, these little screens are pretty cool. They're pretty fun. What's this here? Oh, just screws. Pretty good. Good find, Jody. Thanks for tracking that down. Louvers on the back. Yeah, it's got a little heat relief. This looks similar in terms of it being a sandwich case, right? Looks like you've got a back panel. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it might be 3 pieces, or is it just 2? Let's see. Can we get some detail about print profile? Oh, so that's pretty cool. You tell it what your printer is and it spits it out. right for your printer. That's pretty cool. You can open it right in Bamboo Studio. Oh, sweet. I see what you mean now, Chris. Okay, cool. I'm curious just to see what other people... let's get back to that. I thought I saw another model. Yeah, let's see. I saw one for a larger. Okay, here's a 7-inch case. Because I'm going to be getting that 10-inch version. That's kind of cool. It kind of just looks like a tablet, right? Let's see if there's any other. Oh, here we go. Interesting. Yeah, a whole nother world I'm looking forward to diving into. Let's see. 3D Cults? Is that another one? I don't think I've ever heard of that one. 3D Cults? 3dcults.com. Let's see what it is. Let's see if it has a CrowPanel. The 7-inch. The 7-inch seems to be pretty popular. Gosh, this looks like it's a Stream Deck, right? It looks just like a Stream Deck design. Interesting. Oh, these are other prints. Hey, Pepe. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Etch-a-Sketch. Yeah, kind of looks like an Etch-a-Sketch. It does, Rob. Nice. All right. Well, good. I'm glad there's some options out there. Like I said, I might end up designing something quicker than I expected. Right? Why not jump into that rabbit hole too? Mike, are you still out there? Have you started designing anything yet? I know you've had your printer for a little bit. Let's see. Kevin Laughlin just put out a video on beginners editing tips. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm going to make a little note of that, Jody. Put it on my note card here. Let's see, what sat antenna things have you found? I haven't really went looking for stuff yet, quite honestly. Of course, there's the handle for the. I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way so I don't bend it or break it. Of course, there's the handle for the elk. I'm going to print up some of those. Let me just get this thing out of the way. What else do I want to put on this? Put that. But yeah, I haven't started going too far. I mean, so you guys may recall that little project that was the portable Azel rotator for, well, actually it came out with a connector for the Arrow antenna. Dawn had given me a prototype for the elk antenna, but I thought I'm going to have to build a holder, I guess that's what you could call it, a connector, whatever you want to call it, for the ARRL antenna. With that being the lightest of the three, it probably will work the best on that little Azel rotator kit. Eric is anti-elk. Hey, 45. Thanks for hanging out. Good to see you, buddy. But I think creating one of those for that ARRL antenna would be a nice addition to that as well. All right, got that out of the way. Yeah, I know it's, certainly not as good as the Arrow is, but I mean, I've made tons of contacts with it. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's the primary antenna that Patrick uses as well. And I know he's made a ton of contacts with it. All right, let's see. I'm going to get this Stream Deck plugged back in, and hopefully things don't go wonkers. Yeah. USB's usually pretty forgiving. I want to get an Arrow. Yeah, it's I mean, I don't think you can beat the price, right? Unless you want to build something yourself. I don't think, it's $100 with the diplexer, right? You buy the Arrow with the diplexer and it's $200. It's twice the cost. My elk has feelings. Yeah, I certainly prefer to travel with that. Certainly. But I tell you, if I am looking for 70 centimeter receive, and that's all I'm interested in, whether it's SSTV or telemetry, I'm going to go with the Arrow because I know that is. I know it does have better gain, or it's going to have better reception. Now, the other thing with all those extra elements, right? Here's the other thing to consider, though. When you have more elements on your Yagi antenna, you're narrowing the beam. So you have to be more precise with that Arrow antenna than you do the elk antenna. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Yeah, don't buy that diplexer. I agree. It's not worth the cost. Emotional damaged. Yeah, you don't want your antenna to go there. You think you get 30 degrees out of the Arrow? I mean, I don't know. I've never tried to measure it in any way, shape, or form, but I mean, we all know the more elements you have, the more narrow that beam gets. But here's my question, Eric. Where is that little bit of performance help you? Where does that, I mean, I don't, I mean, it may really help you if you've got like a 5-degree pass that you're trying to work. Yeah, maybe that's going to help you there. Good night, Jody. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you being on. But, you know, if there are people on a pass, I make contacts, right? So, sure, you might hear it more clearly, but I'm going to make contacts. I'm going to make contacts on SO50. And so, you know, how much better matters, right? To me, if you're able to make a contact and I'm not, now that's a difference, right? But if we're both able to make the same number of contacts on a pass or make contacts with the same stations on a pass, what's the extra performance really buy you, right? Good enough is good enough. You know, I think where you can make the argument again is if you're trying to do a really low angle pass and you're trying to catch telemetry and you've got a really narrow window, that's maybe where it makes a difference. So you don't make the same contacts. Interesting. I don't ever have trouble making contacts, and I know that's not what you're saying, but you don't make the same contacts. So yeah, I can hear what you're saying. I mean, I've never had a case where I feel like I've not made a contact because of my antenna, though. But also, whenever we were doing Fram to Ham and we didn't know what to expect in terms of performance of the antenna, I went with the elk just because I knew it would have slightly better performance. So that says something too, I guess. Yeah, so that's interesting, right? Making 7+ contacts in 5 minutes on RS-44 on a 5-degree elevation. But anytime I wouldn't use the elk for a linear pass, right? Because I've got the arrow, and I'd rather use the arrow with 2 separate coax connections than breaking out the 2 different frequencies on the single coax connection of the elk. So I'm glad that we've got options, though. That's the biggest thing, right? I'm glad we have options, and I'm glad we have a new option in the ARRL one, especially when it's a cheaper option and it might help people get into working satellites. When you're putting together a kit and you're buying a radio, you're buying an antenna, you're buying, maybe a bag, you're buying coax, you're buying everything that you need. If you can save $50-$60 on an antenna, I think that really helps people. That's funny that he's lugging around 2 705s. Yeah, I mean that's pretty sweet, though. It is pretty sweet. I got to give him that. I give him that for sure. Let's see, what do we have here? Well, we just zoomed right on past 11. Yeah, don't take the arrow apart. Yeah, see, that's, if you don't take it apart, right, then and you don't have any trouble getting it from point A to B, then all the arguments in terms of portability don't matter. So how much do you need? Antenna and 2 UV5R minis. I want something with better reception. I want something that's got better ears than that. I mean, to me, that's probably more important than the antenna, to have something that has better isolation, something that's not going to bleed into the other radio when you're transmitting. Right, that's why I like the 2730. For FM birds, at least. Which is all you're going to work with 2 UV5R minis. Don't use Chinese radios for sats. I agree. 100%. Yeah. That's been my experience too. You transmit and, the other device goes dead. It goes silent. It goes deaf. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't do it, but you're sure making it hard on you. But hey, look, I understand the budget thing, right? That goes back to my comment, right? If you're buying a radio, buying a antenna, you're buying everything that you need to work it portable, right? Saving $60 or $50, that's significant. KD8 QDM or QDP ham. So I can give you guys a couple updates. So thanks for the reminder on that. So I think I told you guys last week that I did hear back from Yaesu. I heard back from Nori, who is the manager of the parts department for Yaesu in California. And she sent me an email that said, hey, your separation kit is on back order, but I'll get an ETA for you. Well, 2 emails later, I have not heard back from Nori. So I hit her up on Monday after the last live stream, and then I hit her up, I think it was yesterday, or last night, yesterday. But yeah, I've not heard back from Nori. So, but to answer the question for KD8 QDP, I've got a ground station that is all ready to be deployed. So I've got a little tower. I'm using a Carlson roof tower on the ground, but I've got a little tower. I've got an M² satellite pack that has circularly polarized 2 meter and 70 centimeter Yagis on a boom. I've got the SAT controller. I've got my IC9700. I've got 2 pieces of 300-foot heliacs to get from my shack out to my antenna location. So I've got everything to put this thing together. I'm just waiting on a separation kit from Yaesu so I can separate the Azel rotator on the G5500 and install it on my Carlson roof tower. Let's see. Yeah, that's a really good point. There's no sense in carrying 2 Baofangs because as soon as you transmit on one, the other one's going to be incapacitated. So you might as well just work one, or you might as well just use one. You're not going to hear yourself in the downlink in either case, right? One, because the other radio is going to be overloaded, And then, of course, in the other case, you just don't have a second radio. Results the same. The N76, are you going to use that? Use the Doppler control on that? I still think, I mean, in most cases, your downlink is 70 centimeters. That's not always the case, but in FM satellites, most of them, your downlink is 70 centimeters. And using that N76 on receive is probably okay. It'd be interesting to see. I've not tried it. And I've got the BTEC, right? So I ought to try this. I might try this week. Using the BTEC for receive and see if this thing gets overloaded. My guess is it's going to get overloaded, but it'll be interesting to try it. Yeah, you bet. Yeah, certainly. If anybody has any questions here, we'll take a few more questions, and then I'm going to shut her down a little early tonight, again, so I can be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for Cowtown Hamfest tomorrow in Fort Worth, Texas. The mini I have on the frequencies in there for all major sats, and I still have room. Yeah, there's certainly enough memory, enough memory channels to hold the satellite details. That shouldn't be a problem. You know what? I'm curious. I'm going to take a look here. I'll share it with you guys as well. Let's see if my phone is still connected. It's not, but let me get it connected. We'll see if there's, I'm curious if there's going to be any viable passes tomorrow during the show. I've got to look this up regardless, so let's see. We might as well do this together. You know what? And I need to find out what time I need to be there. I've not really put much effort into my preparation. I have to do that yet tonight as well. So let's see. Cowtown. See what time the doors open tomorrow. 7 a.m. So I gotta be out the door by probably 5:45. Yeah, 5:45. Okay, and then we go till 3. Let me see. Here's what I'm looking at. I'm just trying to see the details here. Opens at 7 a.m., runs till 3. I was curious if they listed. I'm curious if any of our folks at the table are doing any education programs tomorrow. But I'm not seeing. Maybe it's under info. I'm trying to see where the list of classes are. All tables are sold out. That's a good thing. See, are they going to be doing testing? Yep. Friday and Saturday. Nice. Hopefully we get some new hams tomorrow. And hopefully we got some today. But I don't see I don't know if I'm just missing it. Let me see if you guys spotted it. I'm trying to see if... I know I found it last week. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble trying to find it here. Not on info. Oh, schedule. Jeez Louise. All right, here it is. Saturday presentations. Let's see. Oh gosh, I'd like to sit on this. So Al Ward he's kind of a microwave rock star, and we're really lucky that we have him here in the DFW area. I might see if I can step away from the table and sit in on that. I'd love to hear what Al has to share. Let's see what else we've got here. Okay, so Tom is doing a getting started thing. He's doing that at the same time, so it's going to make it tough for me to get away maybe. We'll see who all shows up at the table. Okay. Yeah, I'd really like to sit in on that. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and let's take a look here and see what passes we have tomorrow. Which ones look like viable passes? That AO123 pass might not be bad. What is this pass? So it's north or south to north. Let's look at something else here. There is a portion based on how the location is laid out. There's some passes that are no good to work. There's just no room to work them. All right, where's the actual address? All right, here we go. All right, you guys will see what I mean here. So you got Wichita Street is kind of the road that goes in. And it's easy to get out into this parking lot area and work anything that's kind of in this direction. You can get up into this corner and work things that are maybe going in this direction, but anything that's over here is no go. So anything that's really, this is north up. So anything that's kind of north to south that way is not going to be easy to work. So let me see here. Right, so that's kind of this pass would not be easy to work because you'd have to get kind of behind things here. So that's not going to be a great pass. All right, let's see what else we've got. Oh. This one here may be high enough. Could probably work it over here in the parking lot on this side of the parking lot. Might be able to work that other one too. But there are some other buildings back here as well. This one might be doable though. SO50. This one probably be okay to work. AO91 during the daytime. That one should be active. Should be. What time is that? 9:30. So there's a couple there. I don't know what Tevels may be active. I'll have to take a look. 16-degree pass. That one could be workable. The other thing that's a problem in this location is there's like a huge power infrastructure right over here. So that low pass would likely, let's see here. Yeah, it might be far enough away. I know when you're always standing there and you're looking out across this field, there's a ton of power stuff in the way. So things that are kind of over in this way, look at this. You guys can't even see what I'm talking about. Sorry about that, guys. Anything that's kind of over here is going to be easy to work. It's really just those things that are back here that are difficult to get to. Yeah, I didn't, it'd been a while since I had seen any announcement. It seems like they've had some trouble with those Tevels, Eric. Is that the situation there? Looks like they've had trouble with all those transponders on those satellites. There's an SO124. It's kind of on the wrong side. May be able to work some of it though. It's just not a great pass, right? You want to have a pass where you've got good opportunity to make some contacts, especially if you're asking people to stand out there when it's cold. That's at 1 o'clock. Well, what time is that? It's approaching noon. That might be a decent one. But that's the spot. That's where we'll be. Sometimes too, they'll have like a tailgate section out here, so people can bring in tailgate. You walk out this little ramp here. You know, I mean, this is the main door. You walk into the convention center. This is where you pay your money, and get into the Hamfest. But then you can go out the side door here and, you know, get to. They usually have an area roped off here for tailgate sales. People bring their stuff and sell them out of the back of the truck. Gotcha, Eric. I remember whenever those first got launched, you would see an announcement that they would have some of them on here and there, but there were a lot of reception problems. And I just assumed that maybe they were having problems with the transponders, because if you go back and you look back through Twitter, you can see folks complaining about some of the being able to receive them. Hey, Roger, how are you doing tonight? Let's see. Any word on CSS? Tim, I'm not even sure what that is. Let's take a look. That one has escaped me. So let's go to set. And let's see if we can find that one. So CSSARC. Let's see if we find it. Not that way. Let's go with CAS 7A. No. What else might it be called? Is it dash 7A? Let's just do CAS. It's going to find it. Let me see if I can. Chinese space station. Gotcha. I'm just checking an ISS detector here to see how it is identified. See if we can find it on the list here. I don't see it listed there. I've seen. I didn't miss it, did I? I've seen in scrolling through here, just looking at the list of satellites, I've seen a Chinese space station listed in here. Here, let's do this instead. Let's just see if we can find a designation for it otherwise. This may have been the one I was thinking about. I don't think this is what you're talking about, though. Right? That's not what you're talking about. Yeah, that's the one I've seen. This is the one here I've seen in ISS detector. That's not what you were thinking, is it? Tim, I'm guessing it's not. Oh, that is the one you're thinking of. Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm seeing. Yeah, I was unaware that they were launching a new one. I'm with you now. Let's see if we can find, let's see, new Chinese space station. Let's see what this tells us. September 15th. I guess that's an old post. What? This says May 2020. This looks like all old news, but those are the ones you're calling out. Two new. All right, let's see what this is. Yeah, see, this is old. Are you sure you got the identifiers right? Right, these, or did these never get launched? Maybe they never got launched and they just got delayed. Is that the situation? Again and again. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. I'm guessing they probably haven't been launched yet if they're not in the database here. Yeah, I don't think they ever were launched. Now, whether or not they're still going to be launched, maybe, who knows? Maybe it's some propaganda too. Who knows? Let's see if we've got any. See if we've got any news here. This doesn't look like it's going to be what we're looking for, but let's see what we've got for 2026. I don't think, I mean, it's obviously not been launched yet, or else it would be in the SatNogs DB. Let's see if they've got anything scheduled for what their launches are here. This doesn't look like it. Let's do a different search. Now this is all 2020. I don't think these ever launched. Let's try. Geez, if I could type. Still not taking place. So 7A is never launched. It looks like 7B launched. Yeah, they never launched. Apparently, yeah. So no joy there. All right, gang. Well, I am going to shut her down. I appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. Thanks for all the good discussion. Thanks for playing along. Like I said, I won't get the description updated until I get back sometime later tomorrow evening, but I will update the description with some discount links for the CrowPanel if that's something you guys want to play around with, if you want to play along. I'll also add links to the GPS module that I found, and maybe what I'll do is I'll verify that I can get a data sentence out of it first into that Elecrow, just so you guys know it's one that will work with that panel, or with the CrowPanel. I feel pretty confident that it will, but still like to see it first if I'm going to recommend it. And yeah, I think that's it. I'll probably shoot some pictures out from Cowtown tomorrow, so you guys can keep an eye out for those. And boy, we're 1 week away from Winter Field Day. So I'll be in Galveston for Winter Field Day, and I'm going down, I think, on Thursday. I'm going down on Thursday. Is that right? Am I going down Thursday? Gonna go down and hang out, and we're going to operate Winter Field Day from Galveston Park, State Park, right there on the water. So I'm looking forward to that. We did that a couple of years ago, and it was a blast. Hopefully the weather's a little bit warmer down there as well. But for Friday night, I'll probably look to do at least a chat where we can just get together and chat and maybe swap stories about Winter Field Day from, we're staying at Jason's place down there at Galveston. So I know his internet is at least decent enough to pull off a basic live stream. So that's what you guys can expect for Friday. Hope you guys will be able to join. Be anxious to hear how everyone did for, or, you know, how Winter Field Day is going for folks. All your preparations and whatnot for Winter Field Day then. And we'll probably pull in Jason and Frank. And, well, Frank isn't going to be there. So it's going to be Jason. Is Bill still out there? Bill, are you still hanging around? I knew Bill was a maybe. Mike will be there. So we'll have a few folks down there. And, you know, we'll have a good time chatting and bringing you guys up to speed on Winter Field Day from Galveston. So, again, thanks for hanging out, folks. Always appreciated. Hope you guys have a great week. Get out and practice some radio this weekend. Stay warm, stay safe, and we'll see you next time, gang. 7-3.